Good morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed about the excretory system or the excreta products and their elimination. So here there are three types of excretory waste materials are presenting. One is called as ammonia, where we can call them as aminotelic organisms, and urea as ureotelic organisms, and the last one is uric acid, that is we can call as uricotelic organisms. And we have studied about the structure of a kidneys, later structure of a nephron, as well as already we have studied about that is the structure of nephron, as well as the hypotonic urine formation, as well as we studied the role of other organs as an excretory and organs, and the regulation of the hormonal functions, also regulating of the hormonal of a kidneys. And lastly, we have discussed the disorders of an excretory system. So these are the concepts where we have studied in the last class. Now coming to the next one, that is a neural control and coordination. Neural control and coordination. Neural control and the coordination. So this is the next one, that is a neural control as well as the coordination. So here we have to know about, first one we have to know about the homeostasis. Homeostasis. So here what is the homeostasis means? Here the organisms in the multicellular organism, the complexity of the organism is presenting. So here to maintain a body, so here a maintenance of a balancing, the maintenance of balancing, or otherwise the returning of an organisms to their normal functioning. So that returning of organisms to their normal functioning, so that we can call as the homeostasis, or maintenance of the balancing. Here maintenance of balancing means here you have to maintain the balancing body in the body, that is in the form of controlling and coordination, as well as the acid, that is balancing. The water balancing also should be taken a place. So that maintenance of the body in an organism, in a complex, that is here in a multicellular organisms. So in a multicellular organism, the complexity is more taken place, that is in multicellular the complexity is more taken place. So to maintain that, here the body how to maintains a balancing, that will maintaining, so that maintenance of the balancing we can call as the homeostasis. Homeo means constant. Homeo means that is balancing, or otherwise we can use the word as homeo means warm, or warm stasis means balancing. So here the maintenance of the body maintenance will be taken place, that means maintenance of the balancing the body of an organism, then we can call that as the homeostasis. And also here we have to know about the coordination. Here we have to know about the coordination. So here what is the coordination means? Here the maintenance of or the controlling of one or more organisms. That means here the coordinating means it is a complexity where here it shows the organic functions will be a smooth performing of organs which are present in our body, that have to be, that means two or more organs are functioning, the interacting or integrate with among themselves, and performing a specific a functioning. So that maintenance of the organism then we can call as the coordination. That means here the controlling of two or more organs to perform the smooth functioning of the body. So here controlling of two or more organs to integrate the body functions, to integrate the body function, to integrate the body functioning, then it is called as the coordination. That means controlling of two or more organs, and integrate means among cells here the body functioning should be taken place. For example, if you taken place, here if you taken a physical exercises, if you taken place a physical and exercises, here when physical exercises are taken place, here a controlling of, that means here a controlling of nerves, that means stimulation of nerves are taken place. Along with the stimulation of nerves, here it helpful, that means muscle stimulation is taken place. Along with the muscle stimulation, here the stimulation of muscles, or otherwise here increase the oxygen concentration, that is here increase the respiration, and also here increase the heartbeat, and also increase the kidney functions also will be an increases. So here once these are all are coordinating, that means muscles are stimulated with the help of that is nerves are stimulating. When nerves are stimulated, the muscles also will be stimulated, as well as increase the concentration of oxygen. That means breathing is increases. That breathing means here respiration. That means the activity of the lungs are increases, and activity of heart is also increases. So here when increased the exercises, when you stop, that means when exercise is completed, here what happens, all organs which are coordinate or integrate to perform a specific functioning, that all performs will be stopped. Means what happened when you stopping the physical exercises. So again that all organs are becoming to their normal positions, they will become. So this condition we can call as a controlling and a coordination of the body functioning is taken place due to the presence of a neural system. So that is mainly taken place where we can call as the coordination, that is controlling of the two or more organs integrate the body a functioning of an activities. So such condition it is called as the coordination. Next, coming to this here we are having in our body here a neural system which is presenting. Here a neural system will helpful for the controlling and coordination of the body. Not only that one, here a neural system, neural system as well as and also the chemical coordination, and also the chemical coordination. Here with the help of these two to form the specific functioning of the body, that means neural system as well as the chemical coordination, both will perform the functioning and activities. That means will taken place the activities, they are helpful for the controlling as well as coordination of the body functioning will be taken place with the help of a neural system as well as the a coordination, that is a chemical coordination of the organisms. This is how it is taken place, that is mainly taken place by the neural system as well as the controlling of the along with the chemical coordination. So here chemical coordination mainly taken place in the form of the hormones. The chemical coordination is mainly taken place in the form of the hormones. So that hormones are directly stimulates the nerves where they reach to the target tissues along with the nerve system. Here neural system means neural system means here it is neural system means it is a form of a nervous system, where in this nervous system will consist of the nerves are presenting. First they are consist of neurons, where the neurons will forming the nerves. From nerves to the it forms to the nervous and organs are forming. Along with this neural system, here the coordination with the chemical coordination, that is hormones are coordinated with a neural system, where it helpful for the controlling and a coordination of the body is taken place. So now we will discuss about the neural system. So next here the controlling, that is coordination, means interaction of two or more organs to form integrated structure, integrating the functioning of a body functions. That is interaction of two or more organs to integrate the functioning, the specific of the body functions we can call as the coordination, or otherwise the controlling of two or more organs that I have discussed already. And now coming to the ganglions. So here it is a structure, containing a number of nerve cells, nerve cells, bodies, and also a typical linked by the synapses, and often forming the cells of a nerve fiber we can call as a ganglion. So here a synapses. So here what is a synapses means, here one neuron of the dendrites, here one neuron of telodendrites, one neuron of telodendrites to the another neuron of dendrites, then it is called as a synapses. Synapses means here one neuron of dendrites, that means one neuron of telodendrites, the information is passing from one neuron of telodendrites to the another neuron of the dendrites. If information is passing, then such type of process is called as synapses. So here the cell containing a number of nerve cells or cell bodies are presenting in the form of cytons, where that are typically linked by the synapses and often forming the swelling on a nerve fiber, on the nerve fiber, that is information is passing through the swelling of nerve fiber. So such type of structures we can call them as a ganglions, where these ganglions are presenting in the lower organisms. That is in a lower organisms we have studied. That is, for example, if you see in here in a hydra, will having that means here a diffused type of a nervous system is presenting. So here these type of systems, that is in hydra, it consists of diffused type of nervous system, diffused and nerve cells are presenting, where that is taken place in the lower organisms and lower organisms this is seen. For example, in insects In insects, here it consists of the brain. It consists of a double ventral nerve cord, that is in the form of a brain. From brain it arises a group of ganglions or arises a group of from this will arises from the brain. It arises a group of ganglions. Ganglions are arises or ganglia. A group of ganglions are arises. A group of ganglions are arising. So such type will be seen in insects, but in higher organisms will having a specialized, that means here a millions of nerve fibers or neurons are presenting. These neurons are connected with nerve fibers. From nerve fibers they are passes to the nervous organs are presenting. So here through the nervous coordination, that means through the nervous organs, here it helpful for the controlling and a coordination of the organisms will be taken place in the higher organisms, but in lower forms will having the only ganglions are presenting. That means the ganglions will perform the specific, that means each ganglion, that means each that is what you call that means in each part will having a group of ganglions are presenting. Each segment will having a group of ganglions are presenting, where they are interconnected with each other. Through the brain they are communicated with one another. That is taken place in lower organisms. And so here in the neural system provides an organized network of point to point connections for a quick coordination will be taken place. That means in neural system here a point to point coordination, that means here organized a network of a point to point connections for a quick coordination. That means within a fraction of seconds here it has to passes of information will having a point to point connections are presenting. A network of a point to point connections are presenting, which helpful for the a quick coordination in an organism. Best example, for example, if anyone have pinched means here it shows a quick response, so that here someone have pinched will be shown in this form of this one, where that is in a neural system in humans it is taken place. So not only that one, here chemical coordination is helpful for the control. The chemical coordination will produce the chemicals. That means that chemical coordination is produced in the form of hormones which are produced. The chemical coordination, chemical coordination will be produced in the form of hormones, where these hormones are helpful for the controlling and a coordination. That means controlling and coordination of smooth performing of a body functions will be taken place. But in a neural system, in a neural system, in the neural control or neural system, in the neural system we'll study about the structure of the neurons. So what are neurons and how the neurons, that means what are neurons. Here we will study the type of neurons, structure of the neuron. Later we will study the central nervous system, that means the nervous system is classified, the classification of a nervous system. Later a nervous coordination and excitation, that means how the nerve impulse is taken place. That also will be studied. Later we will study the structure of a brain as well as the spinal cord, and also the functions of the brain and the spinal cord, that is taken place in a controlling and coordination. That means neural control and a coordination. In this topic we will study. That is that means you will having the sense organs are also presented, but in your syllabus it is not be presenting. So we will study up to only a spinal cord only we will be able to study. So now we will discuss that is about the structure of the neuron will be discussed. So coming to the structure of the neuron, that is already we have discussed in the last classes, that is in nervous tissues. In tissues already we have discussed about a structure of the neuron, a structure of the neuron, a structure of a neuron. So here the neuron will consist of the three parts are presenting. One is called as the dendrites. The first one is called as the dendrites, and the second one is called as the cyton, and the third one is called as the axon. So these are the three parts where they are presenting in the structure of the neuron. One is called as the dendrites. These are called as dendrites, and this is called as the cyton. That means the dendrites are arise from the cyton only. Not only dendrites, here the axon is also arises from the cyton only. So that is where the three parts, one is the dendrites, the cyton and an axon. These are the three main parts which are presenting in the structure of the neuron. So here what are the dendrites? So here what are the dendrites? So here what are dendrites means these are hair-like structures. These are the hair-like, these are hair-like structures, hair-like structures. These are the hair-like structures which are arise from the, which are arises from the cyton, So such type of structures, these are hair-like structures which are arise from the dendrites, which are arise from the cyton. So such type of structures are called as the dendrites. So what is a function of dendrites means it receives information from one neuron of telodendrites to the another neuron of dendrites. The information is taken place. That means it receives the information from adjacent neuron from telodendrites and moves towards the cyton. It receives information from dendrites to the cyton. From cyton it passes to an axon. From axon they are passes to the telodendrites. From the telodendrites to the another neuron of dendrites will having the information will be passes. So here neurons are the structural as well as the functional units. So here the neurons are the structural and functional units of there are the structural and functional units. These are the structural and functional units of the neural system or a neural coordination. So here without neurons there is no information is passing. So the neurons are the structural as well as the functional units of the nervous system. So in neurons, that means in lower organisms these are presenting, but they are very not developed. But in an highly evolved, that is in humans, these are highly evolved, where these will perform specific functions. That is they carries information. That means your neurons will detect and transmit the information and receives information and transmit impulse in the form of an stimuli. That means they transfer, they detect as well as they detecting and receives information and transmit that information in the form of a stimulation that will be receiving. So here these are the structural and a functional unit of the nervous system, where that is dendrites will having that means due to this the dendrites will process information from hair-like structures which passes from towards the cyton. So these are called as dendrites, where from dendrites will transfer the information from dendrites to the cyton, from cyton to an axon, from axon to the telodendrites, from telodendrites to the another neuron. This information is passes. So such type of structures are called as hair-like structures which are presenting, we can call them as dendrites. So here Next one is cyton. Cyton means it is also called as the centron also. The cyton is also called as the centron, or otherwise it is also called as the centron. Why it is called as centron means in the center of the neuron it is placed. So in the center of the neuron it is placed. So it is called as the cyton, where in the cyton will consist of a dense cytoplasm. It consists of a dense cytoplasm. It consists of a dense cytoplasm. It consists of a dense cytoplasm. Along with the dense cytoplasm, here it consists of Nissel's granules. It consists of Nissel's granules are presenting. So here these Nissel's granules which are presenting, these are helpful for meant for the protein synthesis. These are mainly meant for the protein synthesis. That means these Nissel's granules will consist of the rough, that is rough endoplasmic reticulums are presenting. That means these Nissel's granules will consist of a rough endoplasmic reticulum. These are presenting a rough endoplasmic reticulum. These rough endoplasmic reticulum are meant for the protein synthesis. So that is taken place, and also having a dense cytoplasm, and in the center of the cyton will having a nucleus is presenting. So having a centrally placed nucleus with surrounding will having a dense cytoplasm. Along with the cytoplasm it consists of a Nissel's granules. These Nissel's granules will consist of a rough endoplasmic reticulum which meant for the protein synthesis. Next it is connected to the cyton is connected to the next region called as an axon. So that cyton which is connected to the an axon, this region is called as the axon helix. Axon helix. What is axon helix means? Here it is the region axon helix. What is axon helix means? It is the region where the cyton is connected to the an axon. So such region is called as an axon helix. What is helix means? It is connecting between the cyton and axon. So such region is called as an axon helix. So what is an axon means? It is a long cylindrical shaped structure. It is a long cylindrical shaped structure. A long cylindrical shaped structure. Long cylindrical shaped structure which is presenting with telodendrites at the terminal end. So here we are having a long cylindrical shaped structure which is presenting. So that long cylindrical shaped structure which is presenting we can call as that is called as an axon. There that is will having the terminal end will having the telodendrites are presenting. So here the axon which is presenting, the axon is surrounded by it is surrounded by a lipoproteinaceous sheath. A lipoproteinaceous sheath is called as the myelinated sheath. Is called as the myelinated sheath. So here what is the myelinated sheath means? It is a lipoproteinaceous sheath. It is a lipoproteinaceous sheath which is surrounded by an axon. So such region is called as the myelinated sheath. So here, based on the presence of the myelinated sheaths, here neurons are classified. The neurons are classified into two types. One is called as the myelinated neurons. First one is the myelinated neurons, and the second one is a non-myelinated neurons. So here we'll having two type of neurons are presenting. One is called as myelinated neurons, and the second one is called as the non-myelinated neurons. So this non-myelinated neurons means if the neurons will consist of neurons, that is neuron, the axon is surrounded by a myelinated sheath is presenting. The axon is surrounded by an axonate, that is a lipoproteinaceous sheath is presenting. Then we can call them as the myelinated neurons. These myelinated neurons are present in all vertebrates. Here these are present in vertebrates. These are present in vertebrates, where here it helpful for a quick information is passing. That means here information is within fraction of seconds, the information is passes from one neuron to the another neuron. So here information is passes quickly, that is due to the presence of a myelinated sheath. And non-myelinated means here myelin sheath is absent around an axon. Around the axon, here myelin sheath is absenting, then we can call them as a non-myelinated neurons. This non-myelinated neurons, here myelin sheath is absent. Here myelin sheath is myelin sheath is absenting. So such type of are called as non-myelinated. These non-myelinated can be seen in invertebrates. These are seen in invertebrates. These can be seen. So such type we can call them as a non-myelinated neurons. And here around inside the myelinated sheath will having a nucleus is presenting. That nucleus which is present in the myelinated sheath, that is called as the Schwann cell. This Schwann cell will secrete. What is the function of the Schwann cell? Means it secretes. It secretes the myelinated sheath. It secretes. So here it secretes a myelinated sheath. So that is a main function. That means the Schwann cell will secrete the myelinated sheath which is present inside the cell. The cell which is present inside the myelinated sheath is called as a Schwann cell. This Schwann cell is presenting in the form of a row of a carpet. How the row of carpet is presenting, likewise it is present inside the row of carpet. The cell nucleus is presenting. These nucleus will helpful for the secreting of the myelinated and sheath that is secreted. So in between these you will having the gaps are presenting. Between the myelinated sheath you will having the gaps. That gaps are called as the nodes of a Ranvier, where these nodes of Ranvier are helpful mainly meant for these are mainly for exchanging of ions. These are mainly helpful for exchanging of the ion, that is exchanging of ions. That means influx and outflux. That is sodium and potassium ions, influx and outflux are taken place. Through these gaps only the escaping of ions are escaping, where here interaction, that is outflux and influx, are outside and coming outside and inside, coming outside as well as going inside. That is influx and outflux. Influx and outflux is taken place in the between. The exchanging of ions are taken place with the nodes that are called as the gaps, which are present between the two myelinated sheets. So that gap is called as the nodes of Ranvier. And also at the end of this we will having a telodendrites are presenting. The telodendrites from one neuron of dendrites. So one neuron of the dendrites to another neuron of telodendrites, the information is passing, or one neuron of telodendrites and another neuron of neurons, the information is passing. So such type of process is called as the synapse. We can call as a synapse. So what is a synapse means? Here what is a synapse means? The information one neuron of one neuron of dendrites, sorry, one neuron of telodendrites, one neuron of telodendrites to the another neuron of to the another neuron to the another neuron of another neuron of dendrites. Another neuron of dendrites, the information is passes. So information is passes from one neuron of telodendrites to the another neuron of dendrites. If information is passing, then this process we can call as a synapse. So here we will having the telodendrites will having the synaptic vesicles are presenting, synaptic knobs are presenting. These are telodendrites. These telodendrites will consist of the synaptic vesicles, sorry, synaptic knobs. These synaptic knob will secretes the synaptic vesicles. These synaptic vesicles will secrete the neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters will secrete neurotransmitters. Will helpful for the secreting of neurotransmitters are secreted. That means this telodendrites will consist of that means from one neuron of dendrites to one neuron of telodendrites to another neuron of dendrites, the information is passing, we can call as synapses. The synapses will secrete, these telodendrites will secrete synaptic knobs. These synaptic knobs will secrete synaptic vesicles. These synaptic vesicles will secrete the neurotransmitters. So there are two type of neurotransmitters are presenting in our body. One is called as the dopamine, and second one is acetylcholine. Dopamine and acetylcholine, these are the two type of the neurotransmitters. So in the presence of these neurotransmitters, the information is passing, quick information is passes from one neuron of telodendrites to the another neuron of dendrites, where information is passing in the form of synapses. So this process we can call as a synapses. So this is how the neurons are taken place. And also here this is a brief introduction about the that is neurons. Why means neurons are the structural and functional units of the neural system or nervous system, where in this you will having millions, not millions, trillions of neurons are presenting in the nervous system, where they are connected, the control and coordination of the body will be taken place with the help of neurons only. So the neurons are the structural and functional units of the bodies. So this is about a brief introduction. Why means detailedly not explained in last class. That is a nervous tissue already we have explained. So that is a main, briefly I explained, that is the structure of the neuron. This is where the structure of the neuron, they are called as the structural and functional units of the nervous system or neural coordinations. Now coming to the classification of the neural system. So coming to the a classification of a human neural system, where the human neural system is generally classified into majorly into 3 types. But in a textbook, here it given 2 types only, but here it is classified majorly into a central nervous system, the central nervous system, and the second one is the peripheral nervous system, and the third one is the autonomous nervous system, So here the peripheral nervous system only will divide into 2 types. One is the somatic nervous system as well as the autonomous the nervous system. But here we can clearly differentiate the 3 types. One is central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, and the autonomous the nervous system. So here the central nervous system is again it is classified into 2 parts. One is called as the brain, and second one is the spinal cord. And here the peripheral nervous system will be classified into 2 types of nerves. One is called as the cranial nerves, and also the spinal nerves. So what are nerves means? These are a cord-like or a stiff rod-like structures which are arise a bundle of sheath of a connective tissue. That means these are rod stiff-like which are arising from the nerve fibers, a sheath of nerve fibers which are with the connective tissues we can call as the nerves. So here it is differentiated. It is a thread-like. What are nerves means? These are thread-like or rod-like structures of a sheath of nerve fibers which with a connective tissues. A sheath of nerve fibers with a connective tissues we can call as the nerves. So here we are having cranial nerves. Here 12 pairs of cranial nerves are presenting, and here 33 pairs of the spinal nerves are presenting. So in our body will consist of 12 pairs of the cranial nerves are present in our body, and 33 pairs of the cranial nerves are presenting in our body. And here autonomous nervous system. Here autonomous nervous system means here these are connected, these are involuntary. This information is passing involuntary to the smooth muscles. That means the systems which are not under the control of the brain or spinal cord. So such system is called as the autonomous nervous system. That is not under the control of the brain or spinal cord. So such system is called as autonomous, where the information is passes from the involuntary. These are involuntary muscles where they passes to the smooth muscles. So we will having here 2 type of systems are presenting. One is called as sympathetic nervous system, as well as and a parasympathetic the nervous system. So here we are having 2 type of systems are presenting. One is a sympathetic nervous system, that is these are involuntary. These are involuntary. That means involuntary means these are not under the control of the brain, so they are called as involuntary, where these are connected with smooth muscles. So they are called as, that means central nervous system to the smooth muscles, these are connected, they are not under the control of the brain or a central nervous system. This is not under the control of a central nervous system. So, but in a peripheral nervous system, this is information is passing from a central nervous system to the muscles or tissues. These are passing. So, they are called as a peripheral nervous system, where this peripheral nervous system is classified into three type of nerves. So, what are that? The detail later we will discuss. That is the nervous system. But here we are having a cranial nerves as well as the spinal nerves. Cranial nerves means the nerves which are arise from the brain are called as cranial nerves, and the nerves which are arise from the spinal cord, they are called as spinal nerves. So here 12 pairs of cranial nerves are presenting, and 33 pairs of spinal nerves are presenting in our body. So this is where that is a classification of a human neural system, where it is classified into three types. One is central nervous system, peripheral. Here in our textbook, in NCERT's textbook, it is given the peripheral nervous system is classified into two types. One is called as the somatic nervous system, the somatic the nervous system, and also the autonomous the nervous system. But here clear picture if you seen here, the peripheral nervous system is classified into cranial nerves, that is somatic nervous system is classified into two types. One is called as the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves, and autonomous nervous system is classified into sympathetic and parasympathetic, where the sympathetic and parasympathetic are opposite, they plays important in the opposite reactions. For example, here it increase the rate of heartbeat, increase a heartbeat. Here it helpful for the decrease of the heart beat. So here these are an opposite, that means sympathetic and parasympathetic are both are opposite in direction. So one is increases, another will suppresses. So one is suppresses, another will be increases. So this is both are in an opposite in directions are taken place. For example, another example, if you see, if increase the sympathetic nervous system will decreases the pupil. Pupil means eye. The size of the pupil is decreases by the sympathetic, and here increases the pupil is increased by the parasympathetic. Likewise, here the both are in an opposite in directions that are taken place. So this is a brief introduction, that is a classification of a human neural system. So in next class we will discuss these. That is first we will go for the general nerve impulse, how generation of nerve impulse are taken place, and how the transmission of nerve impulse are taken place. That will be discussed in the next class.